Baltimore has a world-class subway line, or at least part of one, which is our Metro line, which starts out in Owings Mills, comes downtown on the west side, and then has a downtown tunnel going across under Baltimore Street, and then ending at Johns Hopkins Hospital. And it dead ends at Johns Hopkins Hospital underground with no connectivity from bus or other modes because it's inconvenient at Hopkins to do so. And as far as we can tell, it is the only system like it in the world where a major route through a city dies without a feeder at the end. That system has the potential to be the backbone of a real world-class transit system, a real connected transit system in Baltimore. That potential is not utilized right now at all. And the current Red Line plan, coming in from the west side, comes right at the Metro, which is coming like this. They come together, and then rather than make a connection, what happens is that they just do this. It's literally like they saw the Metro in front of them and tried to dodge it, and then made a second tunnel across downtown. The big problem with that is first that they don't connect in a meaningful way. There is a 200-yard underground pedestrian passageway, 2 blocks that somebody would have to walk underground in between them if they wanted to make a connection. But more importantly, the 2 tunnels is the most costly part of the project. Digging the downtown tunnel is extremely risky because you're tunneling under a very old city, at least as America goes, an old city, and under all of the major buildings, and there's huge risk involved in that, as well as major inconveniences for traffic for a number of years. But on top of that, the tunnel costs about 2/3 of the construction costs of the project, well over $1 billion in just construction costs, plus quite a lot more in engineering costs that we have not yet seen. So by connecting the two, you avoid the need to build a 3.5-mile downtown tunnel, which in addition to costing so much, has resulted in a series of compromises to the lines to try to keep the cost down that have made the Red Line little more effective than the existing bus system, and in some cases quite a bit worse. The Right Rail Coalition is advocating a phased plan for the Red Line, pay-as-you-go plan, where what we would do is build the project in affordable phases.
The first phase would be essentially the existing Red Line plan that would come in beginning at Woodlawn at CMMS and be basically a surface alignment until you got within 2 or 3 blocks of Lexington Market. You would need a very, very short tunnel to take the Red Line under Packard Street and Utah Street and connect into the Lexington Market, where there is an existing metro station which is already engineered to take an additional route from the west. So you would expand that Lexington Market station, make it a true transit hub. Incidentally, it's only 1 block from the Howard Street light rail, and actually less than a block when you consider where the station is located. And you'd actually have, for the first time, a transit hub in Baltimore City. The other advantage of our plan is that it would create a station where none exists in the current Red Line plan to serve the University of Maryland complex in downtown Baltimore. So that's what we would propose as our first phase, and it's a relatively cheap line to build. As I said, the only tunneling is just a very, very short tunnel, and that's where the cost is. So that would be number 1. Phase number 2 would be to extend the existing metro east from Hopkins Hospital. Again, a relatively short tunnel, less than a half a mile, surfacing in the Amtrak right-of-way, and then using the Amtrak right-of-way on the surface to get you to Bayview on the east.
In order to pay for the downtown tunnel, or to try to pay for the downtown tunnel, what they've done is they've reduced the Red Line to little tiny 2-car trains that can't carry a lot of people. But the blocks on the west side and the original planning for the Red Line called for 3-car trains. So in one fell swoop, you increase the capacity by 50% and don't leave people sitting on the platforms while full trains go by.
By eliminating that very, very costly downtown tunnel, connecting the west side through at Lexington Market, you would have the bones of a much better, much more enhanced transit system.
Bye.